Hello. Hello, and thank you for being here for this talk about the transits of the moon around the zodiac as it reaches some crucial points around this same zodiac, either an element or a planet or whatever. On the 30th of September will occur the first quarter, as we call it, of the progression of the moon around the Earth. So in accordance with the Sun, it's going to create what we call a square, which is traditionally known as a disturbance or a discordant configuration. So let's have a look at the chart to try and understand what could occur on this day. Here is the chart. So you see, the Sun is here at 7 degrees and 6 minutes in Libra, and the Moon is here at 7 degrees, and 9 minutes, so near enough the same, and it's around 12. That's of course AM, so very first hour of the day on the 30th of September will occur this configuration here, the square. It could affect us because the Sun and the Moon are the poles through which the vital force passes, the vital current, whatever you call it. It's a source of energy. And so the poles are needed. There is the neutral, there is the positive pole, and that's what occurs actually when you use electricity. If you want to get something to work, you need a couple of wires at least to reach the whatever it is that you want to get to work. So a radio or, whatever electrical item you have. And that's the same with us. We need two poles to work as well as possible. Our energy depends on the quality of the circulation of that same energy coming or stemming from the configurations between the Sun and the Moon. So on that day, I would say that we need to make sure that we take it easy. We have here another discordance involving Neptune, which is in Aries. There is also one that you can take into account with Saturn, but it is a false aspect because Saturn is in a water sign. Neptune is almost in a water sign, but it's still in Aries and it's retrograding, and it will move into Pisces again very soon after this day, the 30th of September. I think it's in November that Neptune retrogrades in Pisces until early next year, till January next year. Anyway, this configuration could bring about some confusion, and that confusion can be emotional. It could be in any sort of area of your life, depending on what those three planets, at least Neptune, the Moon, and the Sun. The Moon and the Sun are not planets. We call them planets because it's more convenient. But of course, everyone knows they're not planets. The Sun is a star and the Moon is a natural satellite of the Earth. So what's going to happen perhaps is that if we tend to not be sure about what to do next, how to deal with such or such stimulus, emotional stimulus, then we are bound to make a mistake. So it's very early in the morning, but that's universal time. If you're in the United States, it will be about between 4 and 8 hours or something like that before. So take that into account and work it out for yourself, because it happens every month, twice. Because the next time it's going to happen is when actually the moon is going to be in the last quarter and leading to the new moon. But this one is leading to the full moon, right? So it's very different. While the moon is going toward the full moon, it would say that we are getting more and more emotional, which could be a good thing, of course. But on that day, we need to be careful, because what you have in mind to obtain may be so-so, you know. And perhaps your attitude and the manner in which you're going to deal with the situation may also be so-so. So to make sure that you don't make any mistake and that you have a clear view and appreciation of what is happening around you, you need to rely on elements that are more rational. The moon is not a rational element as such, because it represents your emotions, and when you're emotional, I'm sorry to say, but we are not rational when we're emotional. And Neptune represents the intuition, inspiration, sensitivity, the soul, the connection with the spiritual dimension of life. Well, that's very nice, of course, but it's not necessarily rational as such. And when there is that type of configuration, we need to make an effort to be as rational as possible, to fight against, actually, the adverse reaction that we could have if the emotions are too strong for us to deal with, to bear, and to control. Luckily, I would say, the moon is in Capricorn, which is a rational sign. It is an earth sign. Okay, it's in discordance, or almost in discordance. It's a true discordance? No, it's a false one, because Capricorn and Pisces are compatible signs, because they belong to compatible and complementary elements, earth and water. But there is a kind of discordance, and that's what actually is showing in this chart. Be rational, to control the surge of emotions that could lead to a mistake on that particular day and around that time. If you're east of Greenwich or the universal timeline, you'd have to add up, according to what it is in your country that the legal time is, and the difference between the legal time and the universal time must be taken into account. So, to give you an example, in France it will be 2 hours later, and in England it will be 1 hour before. So it's very important to know when that is going to happen, because at such moment you may be inclined to fall victim of your own emotions, which could actually trigger a disturbance, a physiological disturbance. And then you'd feel perhaps ill, or, it may not last very long, maybe a couple of hours, maybe more. But at least if you make sure that you are rational about what's going on, then you will avoid distress and problems that may occur and that may last for a much longer time than this particular configuration. So anyway, make sure that you stay your feet right on the ground, even though you may have your head in the clouds, because that will help you avoid any drastic situations and trouble. So let's see what happens, and if there is something drastic that happens to you, let me know. I may share it with other people in the in another video that I'll make for you. So thank you very much for watching this one, and all the very best. Take care and be good. Bye for now. All the best.